Welcome back to the Digital Command Center. So today, we're diving into day 2 of our explainer, and we're tackling a massive topic: why cybersecurity matters. From protecting that personal data sitting right there on your smartphone to securing global massive government infrastructure, cybersecurity is literally the invisible force keeping our modern world running safely. Let's just jump right into the data, shall we?
Right off the bat, let's look at this staggering number: $10.5 trillion. According to Cybersecurity Ventures, that's the projected global cost of cybercrime by 2025. I mean, to put that into perspective, we're talking about massive, escalating financial stakes here. This isn't just a tech issue anymore. It's a huge global economic threat.
So to combat a $10 trillion threat, you obviously need a pretty robust shield. At its core, cybersecurity is just the practice of protecting digital assets. We're talking about your data, systems, networks, applications, online accounts, protecting all of that from unauthorized access and cyber threats. It's basically the essential barrier standing between our everyday digital lives and the bad actors out there.
Okay, let's move into part 1, growing digital threats. First things first, we gotta forget that Hollywood myth of a hacker violently smashing a keyboard and breaking into a system in real time. The reality is much sneakier. It's the silent intruder. You see, attackers actually operate completely silently inside a system's infrastructure, often for weeks. They're just sitting there, mapping out vulnerabilities and escalating their privileges way before a ransom note ever pops up on a screen.
Well, how exactly do they get inside? They use a diverse arsenal of common attack vectors. We're seeing everything from your traditional malware to incredibly convincing AI-powered phishing campaigns. Oh, and ransomware that uses multi-layer extortion to steal and then threaten to leak sensitive data. They are literally targeting both the network vulnerabilities and human psychology.
Which brings us to part 2, protecting personal information. Let's look at the micro level.
Human error is so often the absolute weakest link. Check this out. A really startling 72% of users reuse their passwords across 4 or more accounts. Think about that. If a hacker breaches just one low-security website and you happen to have reused that exact same password for your bank account, boom, they instantly have the keys to your entire digital life.
So, relying on passwords only leaves you highly vulnerable to things like automated credential stuffing and data leaks. To actually truly defend your personal info, you absolutely need the heavy hitters: multi-factor authentication and data encryption. These tools are what actually block unauthorized access and scramble your sensitive data so it's useless to hackers.
Now, let's zoom out to part 3, protecting organizations. This is the macro level. When these same vulnerabilities get exploited on a massive corporate scale, the consequences just skyrocket. Personal identity theft is terrible, right? It targets individual financial details. But corporate ransomware extortion, that can shut down critical business operations entirely. We're talking about freezing whole hospitals or massive supply chains just to demand huge payouts.
Just look at who is actually in the crosshairs here. Healthcare, where compromised safety records literally impact human lives. Finance, facing unbelievable monetary losses. And then you have manufacturing and energy sectors. If a hacker hijacks a national power grid, that completely bridges the gap between a digital annoyance and a real physical world disaster.
But there is a human element fighting back on the front lines every day. I really love this quote from Mark A. Zarillo, an IT specialist and St. John's University alumni. He notes, "Constantly learning is part of the job, and just as cyber threats evolve, so must the defenders of data." It's just a great reminder that behind all of these complex digital defenses are dedicated professionals working around the clock to outsmart the bad guys.
Moving right along to part 4, impact of cyber attacks. Let's talk about the concrete fallout.
According to recent data, a devastating 70% of organizations experienced a significant or very significant disruption to their business following a breach. A successful attack doesn't just quietly steal a bit of data and leave. It brings business operations to a complete, crippling halt. And man, that disruption carries a massive price tag. Even so-called low-disruption breaches average around $4.6 million in costs. And if you think small businesses are immune, think again. Their costs average over $250,000 and can easily spike up to $7 million. It's wild.
But here is probably the most alarming reality of all. Only 12% of organizations report that they have fully recovered from their data breaches. Only 12%. Recovery isn't just flipping a switch. It means months of grueling work, paying regulatory fines, completely rebuilding systems, and desperately trying to win back public trust.
The collateral damage is profound. You've got reputational destruction, massive loss of customer trust, and a ton of negative media attention. And here is exactly how it hits your wallet directly. 63% of organizations end up passing the financial costs of a data breach straight down to us, the consumers, by raising their prices.
All right, part 5, cybersecurity around us, the proactive defense.
You might not always see it, but you are interacting with cybersecurity constantly. Think of these as your invisible shields. Whenever you see HTTPS string secure online banking, well, that's encryption hard at work. Secure encrypted emails, remote work from home VPNs, protecting corporate data on your home Wi-Fi, and even those routine software updates for your smart home devices. All of these protocols are constantly running in the background to ensure your safety. So, let's summarize today's key takeaways. The cybersecurity mission really boils down to 3 vital layers. Step 1, protect personal digital identities. Step 2, secure complex organizational data. And Step 3, maintain global trust in the critical digital systems that literally run our society. Understanding these escalating layers of protection is the absolute first, most vital step toward comprehending this field.
So, I'll leave you with this. With the digital world constantly expanding, are your digital assets truly safe? More importantly, what specific steps are you going to take today to secure your own digital footprint? Think about those reused passwords. Go turn on multi-factor authentication. Stay curious, stay secure, and we'll catch you in the next explainer.